Good morning, students of class 9. How are you? I hope you are very spirited and very warmed up in this winter season, both of your body and mind, and your parents are also in their good health. Now, today's class is a continuation class. That means where I have stopped in our previous lesson. Our previous lesson was about a poem, Autumn. Lesson 3, Autumn. And in that previous lesson, I read with you, discussed and analyzed with you the first two stanzas of the poem, Autumn. And today, I will try to finish up the poem with you. Come to the text. The text, Autumn by John Clare. In the first two stanzas, we got two or three characteristics of the season autumn. Number one was the falling of the leaves, gust of wind, the gust of wind and the falling of the leaves. And the poet mentions the falling of the leaves of elm trees in the opening stanza. In the next stanza, that is the second stanza, the poet loves to hear the swallows chirping and the sweet sound of the bird, that is swallow. The sweet sound of the swallow makes you feel so fresh that it sometimes may seem to you that it is actually the spring has come to play and sport with the season. But it is not so. It is the autumn season and the swallow is singing and chirping, making beautiful sounds. Now, the stanza number 3. Let us read. I love to see the cottage smoke. I love to see the cottage smoke curl upwards through the naked trees, curling upwards, curling like this, not straight upward. This is the upward with straight, but curling means like this, like this. I love to see the cottage smoke curl upwards through the naked trees. Can you think where the trees are called naked? Naked means bare, B-A-R-E, bare. Can you think? Can you imagine where the tree is called naked trees? Yes, because of the falling of the leaves. The leaves of the trees have fallen down, making the trees bare. And that's why naked trees. From the cottage, the smoke is there, and the smoke curl upwards like this through the naked trees. The pigeons nestle round the cote on dull November days like these. Another word, coat, C-O-T-E, coat. বাংলায় অনেকটা কঠোর টাইপের পাখি, ওই যে গাছের কোঠর তার ভিতরে যে বাসাটা সেটাকে বলে কোট। The pigeons nestled round the coat. That means the pigeons are in their own nest. They are taking rest. They are in their nest. That's why nestled. The pigeons nestled round the cote. C-O-T-E. Cote means a kind of nest within the hole of the tree. On dull November days like these. The November days are called dull. D-U-L-L. Dull, it may mean not bright. It means D-I-M, dim, unilluminated, unilluminated, dull, and again dull may means uninspiring, not so spirited. On dull November days like these, that the days are dull because of the gust of the wind, because of the lack of the sun rays. The lack of the sun rays, the gust of wind, everything make the days of the November very dull one, very dim one, D-I-M dim, very pale one, P-A-L-E pale. The cock upon the dunghill crowing, the mill sails on the hill a going. That's a beautiful picture, pen picture, painted by the poet John Clare on the season autumn. The third stanza gives a multiple picture of the season. The third stanza of the poem gives us a multiple picture of the season. Number one, the curling of the smoke from the cottage, and it's curling one through the naked trees. That means the trees have become bare, leafless, without any leaves. They are bare. There are only the branches seen. The branches are there. They are without leaves, and therefore they are naked. They are bare. Number one picture. Picture number two. The pigeons nestled around the cote. That means the pigeons, another bird. In the second stanza, there were swallows. In the third stanza, there is pigeons. They are centering around their nest, their cote, because the days are very dull one, unspirited one, dim one. And the cock upon the dunghill crowing. The cock is crowing upon the dunghill. That means heap of dung. অনেকটা সেই গোবরের যে হিপ জড়ো করে রাখা হয় দেখবে গ্রামের দিকে cow dung, they are heaped upon a place so that they can be later used, and upon that dunghill the cock is crowing. It makes its sound, crowing, and the mill sails on the hill a going. That means the mill, it may be the mill of the industry, any industrial mill, it may be the windmill, or it may be the any type of industries, the factory mill, the mill of the factory. The mill sails on heath agoing. That means it's a heath. Heath means a kind of barren land, not so fertile one. There are not so much trees. There are not so much green. There is not so much greenery around. That is called heath. The land is barren. The soil is not so fertile one, and therefore there are no big trees, but some bushes like this, and it is called a heath. যেটাকে বলে পতিত জমি, heath. Unarable land. Arable means যেখানে আমরা জমি জায়গায় চাষ করতে পারি, fertile land, arable land. But when we cannot make any plantations and cannot use for farming, it is called unarable land, and it is called heath, H-E-A-T-H, heath. The factory is on the heath, the mill is on the heath, and the mill is agoing. That means it has continued its work. It is working. Now, the fourth stanza of the poem and the last stanza. The feather from the raven's breast falls on the stubble leaf. The feather from the raven's breast. That means raven, a type of crow, raven, a type of crow, raven are the birds of the same species যেগুলোকে আমরা কাক বলি, কখনো তার কাক, কখনো পাতি কাক। The raven, the feather from the raven's breast. That means the feathers of the raven sometimes falls down and it falls on the stubble leaf. Another bold word. What is leaf? Leaf means grassy land. Grassy land for grazing. মানে যেখানে গরু টরু চড়ানোর জন্য যে গ্রাসি এরিয়া, গ্রাসি ল্যান্ড, তাকে বলে লি, মেডো, এ কাইন্ড অফ এ মেডো, MEADOW, meadow, a kind of a grassy land, grass covered land, that is called leaf. But before the leaf there is another word, stubbled leaf, compound word. Stubbled leaf is a compound word. Compound word, what is compound word? Now where two words of the same parts of speech or of another parts of speech are conjoined together to make a new word. Stubbled leaf. Stubbled means stubbled leaf. Stubble means that is the lower part of the plant which are left after cutting, which remain with the earth after cutting. গ্রামের দিকে অনেকে দেখবে ধান কাটার পর একটু নিচেতে একটা অংশ পড়ে থাকে যেটাকে আমরা নাড়া বলি, বা ঘাস টাস কাটলে কিছুটা অংশ মাটিতে লেগে থাকে, তাকে বলে স্টাবল। That means the remaining portion of the grass or the any crops that remain attached with the soil. Stubbled leaf, that means it's a grassy area. It's a grassy area, and there are stubbles. That means there are remaining portion, short, lower remaining portion, and the raven's feather fall from its breast upon this leaf. The acorns near the old crow's nest. That means near the old crow. That means another crow, raven. There are acorn fruits, a kind of nutty fruits, a kind of nuts. There are nutty fruits that is called acorns. They also fall pattering down the tree. When it falls, it creates a sound, pattering, পট আর মানে পট করে ফুল ফুটছে, পট করে ফলগুলো ঝরে পড়ে যাচ্ছে, পট করে পাতা উঠছে। All these are called pattering. It is an onomatopoeic word where the sound echoes the sense. Where the sound echoes the sense. That means when it falls, when the acorns fall, they create a sound, pat. That is why pattering. The grunting pigs, they wait for all, scramble and hurry where they fall. That means whenever the acorns fall, there are pigs. The pigs are waiting when they will fall and they will catch them. The grunting pigs. That means the pigs, they are also making grunting sounds. they are making sounds. The sounds of the pigs made with their nose and mouth. The sound of the pig made by their nose and mouth. মুখ এবং নাক দিয়ে যে আওয়াজটা করে সেটাকে বলে গ্রান্টিং। The grunting pigs they wait for all. That means they wait when the acorns will fall. Scramble and hurry where they fall. That means they hurry and go they are running. They run and hurry to catch them. And it's finished now. The poem is finished. We have read with you, studied with you, analyzed with you the last two remaining portion of the poem, Autumn. And in these last two portions, we get two beautiful pictures of the autumn season. That means in this third stanza, the poet saw the smoke, cottage smoke, curling upward in this twisted manner within the naked trees, and the pigeons they are also within their coat, and the days are very dull one, not bright one, and the cock which is upon the dunghill, it makes a crowing sound, and the meal of the heath it is also echoing. That means the meal is continuing its work. In the fourth stanza, we get some sounds and the picture of some falling leaves in the first stanza, but here the falling of the feathers, falling of some fruits. The feathers from the raven, from the bird raven, it falls down on the leaf, stubbled leaf. That means where the grass or the corns are cut down, stubbled leaf. And the falling of the acorns, the acorn fruits, some kind of nutty fruits, they also fall with their pattering sound. That means they create a sound like pat, 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 pat. It is called pattering sound. And there the pigs are waiting. Whenever they fall, they hurry down there and try to catch them. Now you have to note down some words and make sentences with them and try to realize the meaning of those words. That means stubble leaf, pattering, coat, C-O-T-E, coat, stubble leaf, pattering, scramble. If you notice, there you can hear some sounds, that is scramble and hurry, একটা খস খস খড়খড়ে আওয়াজ. Whenever an animal go and run, there can be some sounds. Some sounds can be heard. It is called scramble sound. The grunting pigs, the pig, it is also making sounds, grunting sounds. When the fruits are falling, it is creating pattering sounds. And when the cock crows, it creates a crowing sound. And all these sounds are heard in the dull November days. And the poet is not at all irritated. The poet does not at all feel disturbed, but enjoys and loves to hear all these sounds, to enjoy all these pictures of the autumn season. His minute observation upon the nature, the effect of autumn, proves that the poet observes them very minutely, enjoys them very minutely, and writes them up beautifully as a poem before us. And it is called Autumn. Anyway, you have to work out the exercises given in your textbook. And if you have any problem, I will try to solve your problems when we will be face to face and meet physically with each other. Or whenever the interaction classes will be possible, I will be there and I will try to solve all your questions and all your queries. Thank you.